Now to what may be a breakthrough in the race to find an Alzheimer's treatment. New data shows an experimental drug appears to modestly slow the progression of the brain disease. The study, conducted with nearly 1,800 people in the early stages, and according to the data, recipients were 31% less likely to advance to the next stage of the disease during the study. But there are some new concerns about severe side effects like brain swelling. The Food and Drug Administration is set to decide on whether to approve this drug by early January. So here to talk more about what this means is Director for the Alzheimer's Disease Research Center at Northwestern University, also a neurologist, Dr. Robert Vassar, joining us live. Dr. Vassar, thank you so much for giving us some of your time. This seems like a pretty big deal, but there are also these potential side effects, brain bleeding, swelling. Do you think the benefits outweigh these potential risks?
Thank you for having me. And, I actually do think that the benefits do outweigh the risks. I mean, this particular drug does have a chance of leakage of blood vessels in some individuals. However, it's not everyone. It's a minority of the individuals that were in the clinical trial. And many of the individuals, in fact, most, do not have any symptoms due to the leakage of the blood vessels. There's one in particular, a highly publicized case of one death that occurred after the individual had a stroke after receiving the drug and then received an anticoagulant in the hospital, which precipitated, it may have precipitated her death, but it's not at all clear that that event was related to the drug itself. So it's very important that this and other side effects be thoroughly investigated. But at this point, the data really points to a slowing of the cognitive decline in Alzheimer's patients. And in fact, this was only an 18-month trial. And I think in the open label extension of this trial, we may see further reduction in decline and maybe even stabilization, hopefully.
Wow. I mean, that's huge because there are so many families that are affected by this debilitating disease. You already know this, but for our viewers at home, Biogen is the company behind the drug. They did release a similar Alzheimer's drug last year, despite debate over whether it actually slowed the disease. So in layman's terms, so we can all understand, what is different this time?
Well, this time, the clinical trial for lecanemab, which is the drug that was recently, the data was recently announced, the trial was actually completed as opposed to the aducanumab trial, which was the previous drug, which did not complete. This time, lecanemab showed highly significant results. And in my view, it was really stunning seeing the data at the Clinical Trials in Alzheimer's Disease meeting, which I'm now attending here in San Francisco. The results are highly statistically significant, and it's really the first definitive disease-modifying therapy for Alzheimer's disease. And it really is proof of the amyloid hypothesis, which has been around for the last 30 years, and it's been difficult to prove. But I think this finally lays that to rest. That,
yeah.
If you remove amyloid from the brain, you will have benefit for Alzheimer's disease.
Well, we certainly hope that this is some good news, some progress being made. Dr. Robert Vassar, we thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.